I'm Renee Taylor. I'm in the pilot, Rockin' a Hard Place, and the rock star is Patrick Muldoon, and I'm playing his mother.
This is a spec pilot, correct? So it hasn't been picked up, you're just doing this on spec? Okay. And in terms of your relationship with the gentleman who's the rock star, what's the background of that?
Oh.
It's complicated, it sounds like.
He's my son, who I love a lot. He's been in and out of rehab his whole life. He has a problem, drugs. He's estranged from his ex-wives, his children, his mother. His mother is the most forgiving, the most hurt, the most angry.
So the scenes start up where he's reunited with you, and you haven't seen each other in several years?
Right.
Okay. How much background research or backstory are you creating personally on the mother character? Or maybe not. It's just life, just knowing how that would be if you'd been estranged from someone and going from that point?
If I don't see my son for a day, I feel estranged, I feel abandoned. So I can imagine what it would be like for a few years.
Are you working off a script, or is a lot of this improv?
No, we're working off a script. No, I'd say 80% script, 20% improvised.
When you work with a director, Renee, do you enjoy the freedom of improving, or do you like the structure of how?
Both. I like the freedom of improv, but I think the art is really in improvising in the structure to make it spontaneous and appear as it is improvised even when you're doing the lines.
When you're presented with a script, what's the first thing you start doing with it? You're looking at, of course, your part, but are you reading the entire thing from start to finish?
No, I just really start with my part and see whether I have empathy, or my part compassion, and think it's funny.
We hear a lot of actors say that they don't like to judge their character. I find that interesting, that you have to have empathy. If you don't have empathy for the part that you may play, do you not take the role? Or do you feel that you can still work with it?
I can work with it because everybody's innocent. Even Lady Macbeth is innocent.
So with this character, the mother, you felt empathy toward her. What were some of the things that you identified with that made you like her?
Her pain, her rage, her fear, her joy, her fun, everything. She's very multifaceted, and I like that about characters. I like that about people. I like when they're many things to many people.
Right. Well, we're all complicated in many ways. Are there scenes where there's some fights, where it becomes very emotional?
Oh yeah, very.
And how is that for you when they cut and you've had to raise your voice or get mad? Do you need a moment?
No.
Or do you want to keep going?
I don't need anything. I can cry, I can laugh, I can get angry. I am like a sieve. It just goes in and out of me, and it's all fun. I like feelings. I like to have a lot of feelings. I love to cry. I love to get angry. I love to be scared. I love to do all the feelings. Joy. I'm trying to think if there's any feeling that I don't like playing. The hardest feeling to play is no feeling. To be repressed, to be dull, to be boring is the hardest thing to play.
Is that because you feel emotions so readily?
No, because there's a lot of feeling that goes into no feeling. There's a lot of feeling that goes into repression. A lot of feelings.
So if you've had to play that character before, it doesn't sound like with this mother character that that's what you're playing, but how do you go there then? How do you become so banal or flat?
Well, you have all the feelings, but you don't show them. You don't express them. They're all there. and you rise above them, or you don't show them. Actually, it's a very interesting thing to play.
Now, you are from New York City, is that right? Or the New York area?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, when did you come to the Los Angeles area?
About 40 years ago.
40 years ago, okay. Do you remember that day that you took the trip to come to LA, and what was that like?
Yes, I was here to do a Jerry Lewis movie, and that was very exciting.
And you'd already gotten the word that you would be coming to LA?
No. He said to me, if you're ever in California, look me up. So I flew there, and I said, okay, I'm here.
So when you were flying, 3,000 miles away, what was going through your mind on that plane ride?
Oh, I'm going to see him. He's going to be so excited. He's going to put me in his movie.
There was no fear, no doubt.
No,
You said
no.
you
When
liked
you're young, you just are fearless. That's how I was. I was fearless. Had a lot of courage, and I thought the world was waiting for me.
And so, looking back on it, was there anything you would have changed from your journey from New York to LA, or you did everything you feel that it was sort of meant to be?
I think I would have been more grateful. That's all. More grateful. Good thing, the good fortune that happened to me, I would just be more grateful about it.
Well, I know for many people that come to LA, you're younger, and the world treats you differently when you're younger, and sometimes they're more embracing. And so I get where people get that uber confidence, where they think that nothing bad can ever happen, and it's all going to be this way forever.
Yes.
But at some point, when do you turn it into the love for the craft? When you've gotten beyond all of the accolades and it's more about just wanting to do it because you need to do it? When did that happen? When it's what you need to do?
Very shortly after I began. I went to Lee Strasberg's class, and I just fell in love with the craft, and I went there every day and sat there all day. I never went home. And finally, he's the one who told me, after about 6 years, I think you ought to get a job now. Because I was just sitting there wanting to learn everything. I didn't really want to go and do it except in class.
So he was either sort of like, well, I should clean up the term, but get off the pot, basically, is kind of...
Well, he was saying you're ready.
Okay.
Because I was saying, oh, I'm not ready. I don't know about this. I don't know about the classics. And he said, no, you're good enough. Just go get a job. And the first job that I got in the theater was to be in the little Natasha in The Three Sisters, the Chekhov play. And he recommended me, actually, for that part.
So going back to the time that you were just there sitting, what was it that was stopping you? You seemed like you felt like you were in your element, just watching, being in class.
It was just so awesome. The process was so awesome. There was so much to know. He was so passionate. I was so passionate. I just was like a sponge and was just... And it was safe. You know, you didn't have to go and produce. You just could learn. You could just grow. It was like time out. To be a student. It was great to be a student.
So lastly, any advice for someone that's come far from home? Maybe they have family waiting for them who wants them to come back, but they've come to this city. But they are kind of in limbo because they do have talent, but they feel safe, whether it's in a classroom setting. Any tough love?
You know, then you have to just take the risk that someone is going to say, you know, get out and don't ever come back. And you'd have to say, well, I've been thrown out of better places than this. I've been turned down for better things than this, and just go on.